Daiwa has a commitment to ongoing research and development. The result is high quality, highly functional fishing equipment. Light tackle or finesse fishing is very popular in Australia, and Daiwa is right there at the forefront leading the way. A new series of rods has been developed to protect light lines while encompassing the finesse philosophy. Now, you've probably noticed the rod that I'm using is a little bit different to your conventional rod. It's called an interline rod made by Daiwa, and it doesn't actually have any runners on it. What actually happens is your line feeds up through the centre of the rod. Now, it's a little bit of a different technology, but it has a number of different advantages over your typical rod, which has the runners all the way along it. Now, often when you're casting lightweight lures, especially under slightly breezy conditions, you get a lot of line wrap. And by line wrap, we mean when you cast, your line actually slams into the guides and wraps around the frame. What that means is that you'll often snap off your lures, so if you're casting expensive Japanese lures, it's the last thing you want. It can make it a really expensive day. The interline rod, on the other hand, because it has no guides, should the line whip around the tip, it just glides straight off without any problems at all. Guys who are fishing open flats and open areas where they need to do distance casting with light little Japanese lures or any type of small light body lure absolutely love these rods because they don't have problems with line wrap on the guides. This particular Daiwa interline rod that I'm fishing with is well suited for a spinning reel. Now, there's a whole range of rods they've got. The one I'm fishing here is the Tournament Master X, which is the entry-level model in the tournament series. Simon's fishing with the Tournament Master Z. Now, the difference between the two is a higher modulus of graphite and higher quality fittings. These rods here in particular, they've got a set that's designed for spinning reels, for reels up to about the 2,500 size, and there's also a bait cast series as well. But in addition to these ones, Daiwa also have a range for offshore fishing, and they've got some more that are in the surf fishing category as well. So there's generally an interline rod to suit whatever specific type of fishing you're doing. Now, a lot of people are curious as to what these interline rods look like on the inside. This new generation of interline rods use a system called hyperdry. They have an internal coil system that slots up inside the blank itself. The other thing is that by shedding that water, it means with braided lines and PE lines, they don't get stuck inside a sticky blank there and caught on the coils. It keeps it nice and slick, so that line shoots through that blank with very little friction all the way through. So it's not just a smooth walled section all the way through, it's a coil system, and it aids in your casting distance. So I'm sure by now you're wondering, how do we actually get the line through the centre of the rod? Well, when you buy the rod, it's actually supplied with one of these wire threading tools. And so what it is, it's a section of wire with a loop at one end. And all you simply have to do is tie your line onto that loop. You just thread it straight up through the centre of the rod, pull it out, and away you go. You rig up your line and you're all sorted. When you buy your rod, Daiwa have provided the rod not only with the wire threader, but a really good little instruction pamphlet on a whole variety of knots, the technology of the rod, and how to look after your rod. But if you have a look at Daiwa's website, they've also got a huge amount of technical information for those who want those extra details on the technical aspects of this rod, along with all the little basic things like how to tie the appropriate knots when you're using an interline rod. Visit Daiwa online at daiwafishing.com.au.